Blessed be everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about your home being your sanctuary or setting up sacred space where you live. But before we do, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. If you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to know where to start your witchcraft practice but you're just confused by everything out there, and you'd like to just try and figure out a bit of a plan of, well, what's the best thing to start learning, and then how do I pace myself along the way with all that information, I have a free video. It's called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. There's a link in the description field below this video. And if you want to work one-on-one with me through coaching or mentoring, there's a link in the description field for how you can go about doing that. I also work on a coaching perspective to help with shadow work, so that usually demands a free clarity session first. So there's a link for how you can work with me one-on-one anyway, and just let me know what it is that you're wanting, and then I'll let you know how to go from there. I also have other courses too on tarot, and of course, Wicca and Witchcraft. The Mystery Witch School 101 course is my course on Wicca and Witchcraft. It's a 12-month course and it takes you through all of the year and a day learning, as well as connecting you to yourself and your path. So it has that extra layer of deeper work there for you, so you can really turn this into a spiritual practice and a spiritual path as well. Links in the description field below this video for how you can join the Mystery Witch School 101. So there's a lot that I do here. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, well, the main thing I want to talk about today is creating sacred space. Now in Wicca, we normally talk about sacred space as creating a circle, and when we do ritual, we will often work in a circle, not working in a circle all the time, but often whenever you want to work in a circle, to work in a circle. Doing magic, often we'll create a circle, rituals, create a circle. And what circle casting is creating a sacred space, to cleanse the space and to make it a high vibe space, so that when you're doing your work, you're really able to feel into your sacred spiritual self, and you're not being distracted by any energy or anything around you. You can really focus on the work that you're wanting to do. But you can extend this to your home or your room if you're flatting with other people, to make your space, either your room or your home, a sacred haven for you. Our home is our castle, it is our sanctuary, and it needs to be kept in a high vibration. You don't want low vibes coming into your sacred space, because it's a place of recovery, it's a place of rest, it's a place of healing, it's a place of growth, it's the place of connecting with those if you live with other people, and it can be a place where you do your magical work as well. So you want to keep it high vibe, you want to keep it in a vibration where when you come home you feel safe and you feel like you've just entered into a sanctuary, a sacred place, that your little piece of sacred place on the planet. Okay, and there's so many different ways that you can create that sacred space, and everybody's going to be different in how you do it. But some ways that you can do it are these. Number one, be very careful who you invite into your sacred space. What sort of people come into your space? Now I know for some of you, you're not going to have a lot of control over that. If you live with other people, you're not going to have necessarily a lot of control. But it's something to really think about. Who is coming into your home? What type of people come into your home? What type of vibration are they carrying? And is it one that you feel you need to cleanse after they've left? That kind of thing. And you have the right to be able to discern who comes and goes in your sacred space, because you're trying to keep it a high vibe for yourself, right? If you are into helping people or healing people and you work in your own space because you don't have the options to work outside of your own space, then you probably find that you do a lot of cleansings in between people. There's different ways that you're probably re-raising the vibe again when you do that kind of work. But even if you're not a healer or you're not someone that works from home, still keep that space as high vibe as you can by just being aware of who comes into your home and what they may be carrying, and that if you do feel after they've left a bit sort of or like you need to have a cleanse, then you can go and do these sorts of rituals or practices to help raise the vibe again. Keeping your home cleansed can involve you on a regular basis doing a cleanse, like literally a cleanse of the home energetically. So that could be using incense, it could be smoking the home so that you're working through the air element and cleansing through different scents. Any type of herb that is has a sort of an astringent aspect to it, so an antibacterial, antiviral aspect to it, can be used energetically to cleanse your home space. You could use eucalyptus, you could use rosemary, a lot of people use sage. Any of those herbs that have quite a strong astringent kind of scent to them are great for cleansing and consecrating your space and just lifting the vibe is basically what they're doing. Then you can create more of a sacred high vibe aspect by then adding some frankincense or sandalwood or more of those traditional spiritual types of scents to really raise the vibe to a really high sense. Using your aromatherapy, using essential oils and burning oils can help raise your vibration. Not only energetically, because the oil is actually resonating and vibrating, which is creating that, it's also doing it to you as you smell and inhale the oils as well. It's actually raising your own sense of psychological happiness and joy. It can have a psychological effect on you. Another thing to think about is colour, how you colour your home. If you have the option to use colour, how do you colour your space? And take note of the colours that you have in your space and how those colours, how you feel in reaction to those colours, because colours resonate and vibrate at frequencies as well. So you want to look at colour and maybe do some research on colour to see what sort of colours you'd like to invite into your space, what colours resonate with you and are in harmony with each other as well. You can use cleaning, your regular cleaning of your space by using sprays and floor washers with herbs in them to be able to add the energetic cleanse when you're actually doing your physical cleanse as well. Keeping your sacred space clean and organized is actually a really good energetic housekeeping thing to do. If you've got a lot of clutter or it's really messy or disorganized, the energy can get very discombobulated and you can get very disorganized psychologically as well. So if you can try and keep your space organized and clean, it's going to help raise that vibration. I know that not everybody is naturally an organized person, but try to do the best that you can wherever you're at. So yes, reducing clutter. Other ways that you can, and these are pretty inexpensive things that you can do. You don't have to necessarily spend a lot of money on creating a sacred space. It could be enough for you to burn the incense, smoke, have maybe some color there that you resonate with. But if you really want to go all out for it, then you can add crystals. Crystals do have a vibration, and they really do raise the energy of the space. So if you can afford crystals, they certainly help. Lighting can be effective as well. Colored lights can help you maybe lift you up and help you feel more joyful. So light, how much light does your space get in to it, and how can you bring more light into your space rather than it being a very, very dark space? You want to bring in more light to raise the vibe, because the darkness can get very heavy if it's constant all the time. So have a look at your state of mind if you are in a dark space, and how can you bring more light into that space. It might be literally, if you do own your own home, putting in skylights, or just simply putting in light, like fairy lights, or just lighting things up. Having light in the dark can be very uplifting. So maybe burn more candles, or have lamps or something that brings the light into a dark space. Having different prints, for example, I've got probably can't see all of it, but there's a chakra print there. It's very coloured, very colourful. I like the bright colours. Prints that have symbols on them, pentagram symbols, chakra symbols, whatever symbols you resonate with, that when you go into a space you feel like you're lifted up, you can put those in your space to help make it more sacred. Statues of deities are another addition if you want to do that and you have the means to do that. For example, here in my amethyst geode, I have here a statue of Ellen of the Ways, and so she sits in the amethyst there, and truly beautiful energy. And when you're working with deities, and you do actually work with the statues, they can start to absorb the energy of the deity. And if you are working with any type of object, it can absorb energy, the energy you give it and the energy that you're working with. So having sacred icons can help lift the vibe and help you feel like you're more in a very sacred space and in your sanctuary. And statues like Ellen of the Ways, I'll put a link in the description field below this video for where you can go to grab a statue like that, because they're very helpful if you want to work with various different deities. I've got one of Hecate over there that you can't see at the moment. I've got a statue of Isis. I've got Bastet. I've got even Ganesha, and there's deities everywhere. And they help raise the vibe. Now, for two reasons. One, anything that you associate with spiritually, that you feel uplifted when you see, has a psychological effect on you. So it's going to work on your psyche. It's going to work on your emotions and your moods, and you're going to perceive them as something positive. It's going to make you feel better when you see them. So there's a psychological aspect to making your home your sacred space when it comes to walking in and seeing things. It's a psychological tool, essentially. Second, it is actually the vibe. So the vibe you're associating with the objects in your home is going to raise the vibe, because your emotions are raised when you see them and when you work with them. Even from an ego point of view, you're kind of like bringing the ego in on your spiritual path and using some of the ego's need to feel connected. Like the ego likes to surround itself with things that it identifies as you, right? So when we choose the way that we dress or the things that we have in our homes, it's kind of the ego's way of saying, this is me, this is me, this is me, this represents me, this represents me. So utilize the ego doing that for a higher purpose, to create your sacred space. So yes, on one hand, it's the ego identifying, but on the other hand, you're using what the ego is identifying with to help you feel better, but being aware that that's one of the reasons why you're connecting to these things. It's because your ego is associating them with a representation of yourself. You can use that for spiritual means. Your home is your sanctuary, and it's like you do need a base to go to and settle into. When you've been in the work a long time and you've done a lot of shadow work and you've done a lot of spirit work, it's not so important. You can kind of take your sacred space with you everywhere you go, because it's within you anyway. It's not actually outside of you. Your sacred space is inside of you. It's in here. And so you can make any space that you go to sacred. simply by being there and putting your energy out and raising the vibe that way. So you don't need things to make a sacred space. You just need to be connected to spirit and to an understanding of who and what you truly are, and you take your sacred space wherever you go. But at first, it's nice to actually have the ability to actually come into a space, and that stuff, those tools are already there to help lift you up. So try it and see what creates a sacred space for you. Are you a person who likes a lot of stuff? Are you a person that's very, very sparse and all you really need is yourself and a clean living space? And what sort of, how do you set up your sacred space, and what does the sacred space mean for you when you're setting that up for yourself in your home? How do you feel connected when you look at the things around you? And why did they help you feel connected? You know, have a look and think, why do I feel connected? Why do I feel like I'm in connection with spirit when I look at a certain thing or I see a certain thing? What is it about that connects me? What's my connection to it on a psychological level and on a magical level that connects me with that form? Humans have been using form to connect us spiritually for a very, 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 very long time, because they're all tools, and if we can use those tools in an intelligent way, they are useful. So even though on one hand we don't need any of it, on the other hand, when we know that we don't really need any of it, we can then work with it, knowing that they're just there to help. And if you want to learn witchcraft and Wicca with me, the Mystery Witch School 101 course is there. It's a 12-month course to help you connect to your spiritual self, to create a sacred space wherever you go, and to help you learn the things about creating a sacred space, working with your energy so that you can energetically create a sacred space wherever you go, working with the lunar energies, working with the Sabbaths, working with various different deities, doing a little bit of a deep dive into yourself and the shadow work, not from a really negative place, but more from a place of learning to love and accept yourself, because connecting to yourself is so important to your path. And creating Wicca and witchcraft as a spiritual path, and not just a path that is about having everyday practical needs met through magic, but actually turning it into a path where you're really connecting to your true soul self, your true essence self. So that's the Mystery Witch School 101, link in the description field below this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra for mysterywitchschool.com. Blessed be.